Nuclear explosions conducted here have provided essential information to aid in the development of weapons, methods, and programs to strengthen the defense of the nation and the free world. Since its establishment in 1951, Camp Desert Rock has witnessed many explosions of nuclear devices, each of which has contributed substantially to our body of scientific knowledge. Not the least significant of Desert Rock's missions has been the continuing war waged here against fear of the unknown in the minds of soldiers who might be called upon to fight on an atomic battlefield if an aggressor so determined. Ground troops have participated in most of the tests that have been conducted. Before every test, the participating soldiers have been fully and carefully briefed on the nature of the A-bomb. They have learned from authoritative sources the bomb's power and capabilities, the effects at various distances of heat, blast, and radiation in an atomic explosion. The greatest part of the energy, about 50%, is released in the form of blast. More than 30% as heat and about 15% as nuclear radiation. They have learned what exposure can do to an unprotected individual. But along with this, they learn also how various kinds of shelter, including the soldier's foxhole, can give protection. This kind of information, based on fact rather than uninformed hearsay, goes a long way toward dispelling unreasoning fear. An exercise conducted several years ago illustrates the character of the tests that have taken place, and of the performance of men well trained to know exactly what to expect and what is expected of them, how to conduct themselves for the greatest measure of safety. Not only foot soldiers, but armored and other units as well have participated in the Desert Rock exercises, giving the exercises the character of realistic training from which the troops benefit, and at the same time enabling the Army to add to the knowledge that is essential in shaping forces capable of fighting under atomic conditions. No matter how thorough and careful the briefing, however, in every test yet conducted in these desert flats, an unmistakable tension begins to grow as the final details of the plan are put into operation and the loudspeaker begins its periodic announcements of the time remaining. Minutes before H hour, everyone gets ready. Troops and equipment both take cover. Heavy silence hangs over Ground Zero, the target area, and the trenches in which the soldiers wait. The only visible marks on the landscape are the items of equipment on which the effect of the blast will be tested. The countdown announces the detonation. Men who have experienced their first atomic explosion, moving out of their trenches toward the blast area with the mushroom cloud still hanging in the air, have acquired an invaluable first-hand knowledge of the effect of nuclear devices and have participated in an historical development of prime importance, the adjustment of the United States Army to the atomic age, with which a fully mobile unit can move into an atom-blasted area. The assault troops will be a much greater distance away, and these trenches will be used by engineer and other support troops and observers. Even if the trench were much closer than it is to Ground Zero, it would provide a good deal of safety, for Earth offers protection against the effects of atomic explosion. Microwave equipment for television transmission is set up. Television is one of the facilities with which the modern Army is able to maintain a communication system in the field far surpassing the communications of World War II. Functioning as an active and accurate scout, television can relay information visually and immediately to the commander. Television receiving equipment is installed and put in working order at posts in the rear. With the aid of the television screen, the commander in the field can gain a knowledge of the terrain, the fighting effectiveness of his forces, and other factors essential to the success of the operation in a way no commander in history has ever had before. During this exercise, television coverage will be available not only to the commander, but also to observers here to witness the event, including members of the press. The communications network which unifies the test area, over which will flow the signals and commands which link all elements and give the exercise its cohesiveness, are set up and tried. A final check of all points is made. Now the test site is ready for Test Smoky. With everything in readiness, there is time for relaxation and enjoyment before the exercise begins. For those who wish to indulge in active sports, the heat is no deterrent. Show business comes to Desert Rock, too. A variety show brings a welcome hour of entertainment. Song signals that the test will go off as scheduled. The troops of the 1st Battle Group move out to the test area. Now that the exercise has in effect begun, these troops are part of Task Force Warrior, moving into battle positions to await the signal to strike against a mythical aggressive enemy who has landed on the coast of California and driven deeply inland. At the assembly area, the troops debark to settle in for the wait that will terminate finally with their advancing into the atom-blasted area. The detonation is scheduled for shortly before dawn. Word of the impending explosion has been disseminated far outside the boundaries of the test site. Citizens have been warned not to enter the area's boundaries and to avoid looking directly into the fireball of the blast. Airplanes flying in the vicinity of the test site are carefully controlled. Chow in the growing dusk settling over the flats brings an end to the day. Dusk on the desert is always a reflective time, this one perhaps a bit more than most. A kind of loneliness invades this stretch of desert earth, particularly in the sudden chill of the long night. Everything is ready, but in the minds of men who are about to become part of an awesome experience, fundamental questions remain.
What seems to be the trouble, soldier? You look a little bit worried.
Well, I am, Chaplain. Just a little bit.
Actually, there's no need to be worried, as the Army has taken all of the necessary precautions to see that we're perfectly safe here.
Sir, have you ever been out on one of these shots before?
Yes, I've had the opportunity to see a number of the atomic tests. I feel that as a chaplain, it is my responsibility to be with my men.
What's it like, Chaplain?
First of all, one sees a very, very bright light, followed by a shock wave, and then you hear the sound of the blast, and then it seems as though there's a minor earthquake. And then you look up and you see the fireball as it ascends up into the heavens. It contains all of the rich colors of the rainbow, and then as it rises up into the atmosphere, it turns a beautiful pale yellow, and then assembles into the mushroom. It's a wonderful sight to behold.